So this is where it all began, right here. We shouldn't train on a broken wrist, but we get banged up, we get bruised up a little bit. You know what? Push through it. It might be a little sore tomorrow, and you guys did that. I don't even need to say that to you guys. I just want to tell you guys good job on that, all right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, oos! Good job, kids. You guys did awesome. I started teaching Jiu Jitsu out of my garage 4 years ago. It was COVID at the time, and all the sports were shut down, and my kids, they were itching to do something, and they had trained in Jiu Jitsu, and we had done a little bit of grappling in the garage, but we would mostly train out of Checkmate Murrieta. And we just decided that, hey, you know what? Let's open the garage up to the neighborhood, and we can invite some friends from church, and we can use it as a ministry. So we started on Mondays, and we just said, come on over. And if you guys want to train and you don't care about no personal distance between our kids, and you want to hopefully teach your kids some discipline and learn some technique and make some friendships at a time when it was really, really needed. It was a great opportunity for kids to build friendships at a time when it was really, really needed. And so through those times of seeing Jiu Jitsu fill this void when people didn't have other alternatives, but seeing the fruit and the friendships and the growth that we saw out of kids, just in the 1 day a week of them coming and being on the mats with other people, and the difficulty of learning something new, and the difficulty of trying something that you just learned and it not working, and then you have to try it again, and then you try it again. But you'd see the kids here, and they would try something. They were trying to learn something new, and as all things new, it wouldn't work. And so they'd come back and they'd do it again and try it again and try it again, and it wouldn't work. And eventually they'd get it. And when you see one of the students, a technique clicking for them, or when we would do the Bible devotions before practice, and you would see the students relate to either a parable in the Bible or a story from the Bible, and it would click in a new way, just because their guard was let down because they were on the mat. They were expecting to come and learn about Jiu Jitsu, and at the same time they learn about the Lord. They learn about what God has to say and prescribes for our lives through Scripture. It's really, really cool to see that happen. So we started Jiu Jitsu in the garage to teach Jiu Jitsu, and we realized that there was actually a much, much bigger mission that God had in store. So for us, I mean, there's lots of disciplines, there's lots of attributes that come from Jiu Jitsu, but I'd say 3 of our core values are discipline, respect, which you're probably going to find at a lot of gyms, but we really button down into this idea of meekness, and the idea that we want our students to be meek people. We want them to be children that walk softly and carry a big stick. It's this idea that meekness doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean a weak person. The students commonly say, they say this all the time, meekness is not weakness. Meekness is strength under control. And we are very diligent about having our students understand that we're trying to imbue them with great strength and with great power, but we want them to use that power under control. We want them to have the ability to be quite powerful, but in their power to be loving and compassionate. One of the big blessings of Mission Jiu Jitsu was my relationship with Randy and JoJo. I've known them for about 10 years now, as long as we've all been training. We trained maybe separately, but we went to the same gym and went to different classes, but had always kind of seen each other from afar and had some crossover. And even though I hadn't, in my early jiu-jitsu journey, I didn't have a ton of interactions with them. They were people that were always spoken of very highly around the gym. They're people that carry themselves in a manner that people gravitate towards them because they're genuinely loving. They're phenomenal jiu-jitsu players, but there's lots of great jiu-jitsu players out there. There's lots of good jiu-jitsu coaches. They have those qualities, but they love the Lord and they love their students, and they're incredibly technical, but they have a patience about them that enables their teaching to reach a different level. So I had seen Randy and JoJo in that capacity, and I just very much admired what they were all about. Over the years, as we got to share our testimonies and learn more about one another and one another's families, there were people that I said, you know what, if there was ever somebody or a couple or a family that I wanted to be in business with in terms of starting a jiu-jitsu gym, people that would help us pursue God's kingdom through jiu-jitsu, it would have to be Randy and JoJo. So this process started years ago. I mean, the process of Mission Jiu-Jitsu probably started about 3 years ago. That's where those discussions where we started talking to our coach Poncho about, hey, we want to start a gym someday, but we want to do it in a manner that serves God's kingdom. And so Randy and JoJo just exhibited a ton of patience in this process to get us to where we are today. And I think it was worth it. One of the amazing qualities about Randy and JoJo is that although they are ferocious competitors, I mean, if you watch them compete themselves, they are there to win. They will be respectful to their opponents. They're going to honor the Lord in the way that they compete, but they are going to compete at an extremely high level. Now, there's typically a distinction between those who competed at a high level and those who teach at a high level. You usually get one or the other. It's a very rare breed that you get a world champion in jiu-jitsu who can also be an extremely good teacher. And that's what Randy and JoJo are. They're phenomenal teachers. They want their students to exceed the levels of success that they've had in jiu-jitsu. And again, that means winning world championships. That means winning gold medals. And they genuinely care about the progress of their students. They are there for the journey. They want to make sure that every technique is buttoned up, but they do so much more than that for their students. They go to their students' birthday parties, they go to their students' graduations, they go out to celebratory meals with their students. I mean, they live life with their students, and that's not something that you can teach a coach how to do it. You can't write a book on, here, this is what successful coaches do, because there's just this element. You either do it or you don't. And Randy and JoJo, they are doers. They are people who entrench themselves in jiu-jitsu. They live it, they breathe it. And when that's part of your DNA, it comes out, it oozes out of you, and it permeates into everything and everyone around you. And that's one of the things that makes Randy and JoJo so exceptional. So who would we want to come to Mission Jiu-Jitsu? I mean, that question has a pretty simple answer. There's nobody that we wouldn't want to come to Mission. Somebody could be completely unskilled. They could be a day one novice. That's fine. They could be a 10-year black belt world champion. That's fine. They could be somebody that it's just messed up in life and they're starting over. That's fine. We would love that person to come in. It could be somebody who, a widow who would think, oh, I'm probably not somebody that should go into a jiu-jitsu gym. I should probably get other things in my life taken care of. No, like we want that person to come in because we understand the value of bringing community around people who are starting over, who are broken, who are learning something new, who are a master of something and they want to be elevated to a new level. Yeah, there's nobody that shouldn't come into Mission Jiu-Jitsu. And I think what people can expect when they come in is there's going to be a group of people who love them and care for them and are going to meet them where they're at. There's no presupposed expectation of oh, Mission Jiu-Jitsu is a Christian business and I need to get my life right before I go there. No, that is completely false. Christ says that going to churches like this, it's like you don't need to get healthy before you go to the hospital. You don't need to get healthy before you go to the doctor. You go to the doctor to get healthy. So wherever you're at in life, I think we can do something to bring people around you, to help teach you a new skill, to help sharpen you, to help motivate you in life. So if your business is failing, come to Mission Jiu-Jitsu. If your business is thriving, come to Mission Jiu-Jitsu. If you're thinking about changing careers, come to Mission Jiu-Jitsu. If you just went through a horrible breakup, come to Mission Jiu-Jitsu. We're here for people in all walks of life at any time.